Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Flash Talks here in a cold, wet, miserable, depressing southeast of England on a Saturday when we should all be bouncing and buzzing. It's the weekend. Yes, come on, we made it through another dodgy week. Those just seem to happen. But here we are, the morning after, the night before. Manchester United absolutely shat all over the FA Cup last night. Honestly, this video is going to be about the fans. Are the fans a problem at United? The fan base as a whole, because it seems to be in very select sections. And I was going to go in on the Old Trafford crowd, but I can't. I would be a hypocrite if I did that, because last night, I got to tell you this, I was moaning and groaning along with, I'm sitting at home watching with my lad, and we were there for the Leicester Carabao Cup game where it finished 5-2. That was our first ever game together, me and my boy. A magical moment. And we sat down before last night's game, got all excited and were reflecting on that game and thought, wow, is this going to be the same? Is there going to be loads of goals? What an utter pile of shit it was. And thank God for Harry Maguire scoring the biggest offside goal you've ever seen. Oh my God. Right at the end, but he saved us from another 30 minutes of absolute dog shit football. And I was going to, like I say, I was going to moan at the Old Trafford. I have started to get in the headspace of how a player must think. Because let's be honest, the players are not good enough. We can all do episodes on select players. I'm not going to do that. And, you know, I've had my thoughts on, I got into some arguments during the January transfer window about Garnacho and Mainu and what's the difference. And for me, I felt they are no different. If you're going to sell one of those big players, you've got to sell them both. Because if you're just in it to make profit, then those two both have raw potential there. And I don't think it's right to go in on young players. I know some people are going, and I have said I've got my doubts about Mainu, but I'm not here to shit all over young players. I don't think that is right. But Old Trafford, it's a place full of moans and groans. That night we went was different. Ten Hag had literally just been sacked, so there was a real sense of optimism in the air because stepping into the unknown. Rude was manager, and it was a great night. There were moans and groans still, even though we scored 5 goals. I think Manchester United fans, we are spoilt. We were spoilt in the past under Fergie, but that was a long time ago now. You know, I watched the stuff, the Munich Memorial this week, as I do every year, and it just really sort of hit home that this club and what it's been through to get where it is now, being the biggest football club in the world, arguably, players died for this club, and I just think we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled for success over the years, and is it time to have a reality check that we're just not the Manchester United we've known and loved? It's time to wake up to the reality of we're just a bang average team. And I do strongly believe we've got the right manager. I think he's making a few wrong decisions lately, but I think he's got to try and get it right. Please don't fall, Ruben, please don't fall into the same trap Ten Hag did and keep picking your favourites. No manager survives at any club if you keep picking favourites that are not performing well. Just a bit of advice there. I'm sure many, many people are doing that. So Old Trafford, I think from a player's perspective, hearing the moans and groans, and everyone moans about Bruno being a whingy moany captain. Maybe he's whingy moany because of the crowd, but then is he an elite player? This is what we need to If we want to become an elite team again, we need these players to be elite minded and they can shut out the noise of the stadium, because the fans have got a right to moan and groan. They spend a lot of money, particularly season ticket holders, ridiculous amounts of money. And, you know, Ineos have just, I've got to stop saying Ineos because it's Glazers and Ineos. It's both of them. They will all be in agreement together. They are buddies. Let's look at it that way. This is a business. They all work together. Let's stop saying Ineos fan base. Stop saying Ineos. It's Glazers and Ineos. It's Glinios. We need to evolve our mindset, or almost step back in time. I wasn't alive when we got relegated. And I hear so many fans keep saying, we're not going to get relegated, we're not going to get relegated. But let's wake up to reality. We're in a relegation scrap and it ain't going to go away. This season is not going to get any better. And so many people also are saying, got to win Europa League, got to win Europa League, or win the FA Cup to get European football next year. I've now turned my mindset to, let's just get through this season. What will be, will be. Que sera, sera. Will we win the Europa League? Will we win the FA Cup? Don't know. Are we good enough? Don't know. Time will tell. And let's just try and get behind these players. Let's just try. Okay, the next part of this is more delving into this world, the visual world, the online world. Is Mr. Mark Goldbridge a problem? Yes, is the answer. Now, the reason I do this now, and my inspiration to start talking and getting fan feedback and getting comments, not just on my Man United stuff, on all my content I do, is Goldbridge. I sort of looked at him, and I'll give him his due, he's bloody entertaining, and I enjoy watching his content. But he's a problem. He has the biggest fan community channel in the world in terms of football. He has started this crusade at the moment of going for these owners, which is brilliant, which is what we have to do. We have to turn this attention away from these players and the manager and the same old boring process that mainstream media does, and aim it at the ownership model. But is he too late? Ineos ain't going nowhere. The Glazers aren't going nowhere. I mean, he did this video the other day, which was a good video. I've got to say, I'll give him his due. He's probably the best at it. About the stadium development. And this, my personal opinion on the stadium development is, I think it's absolutely disgusting. We have Glazers to Jim Ratcliffe, very wealthy people. Now, invest in the club. 20 years this Glazer ownership's been here. 20 years. Have they invested a penny? Fucking no. Now, rival fans will come and say, well, look at all the money you've spent over the years. That's because of how well the club has done. Do your research. And now please, governments, please give us some money. I'll tell you a bit of my personal situation. We're in dire straits in our family and we are having to resort to using private healthcare services because the NHS is on its knees. And now we have the richest football club in the country. Well, they're probably Newcastle are. Manchester United, the most famous club in the country, begging the British government for money. I'm going off track here, but I'm disgusted with that. But Goldbridge, I just feel it's too little too late. He should have done all these kind of videos when the club put the statement out to say they're potentially going to go out for sale. It's too little too late for me. And also going into other YouTubers, and there seems to be a Goldbridge versus the rest of the, and it's like they all seem to have an agenda, and it's boring now. I've consumed so much of it. They're all very good at what they do, and I think they're all brilliant in their own ways. But it's got beyond a joke now. It will be nice to see them all sort of unite on the same thing in the ownership. But like I said, it feels like it's too little, too late. The fan base is trying to be drowned out by the owners, and they're threatening them. I think it's disgusting. I could turn this video all on the ownership, and I should probably do a separate video on the ownership. But the fans are a problem. The away support for United, you look at Fulham game, they were absolutely phenomenal. They did not stop singing from start to finish, and it was a shit game of football once again. Shit game FC we are at the moment. Just keep singing, get behind this lot, and just to see how we get on. And I personally decided, come the summer, I'm going to take a break from United. I'm going to enjoy June and July. I'm not going to consume all the content from the fans. They do a brilliant job, and well done to them. But I found the January transfer window exhausting, and I want to get myself out of the United headspace until we approach the new season. And yeah, if we manage to sign players and sell players in that time, of course I'm going to be looking at it and consuming content. But I almost think it's become like an addiction, consuming this stuff day after day after day, because they grab you in with their headlines and their thumbnails and everything. And like I said, they're brilliant at it. I'm not having a personal attack at them saying, fuck you, hate you, blah, blah, blah. I enjoy every bit I see, but it also grinds me down. And I think it grinds a lot of the fan base down. It's too much at times. We all need to know when enough is enough. This is where the fan base needs to do more. The media are going to pump up the pressure on Amorim. Last night he did, this is with my own eyes, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think he switched his positioning. He's always going to start the games in the formation he wants to do, but I think he switched to a 4-4-2 throughout the game, towards the end of the game, when he had both Rasmus and Xerxes on. Although, again, positions of players are just all over. It's hard to read the game, it really is, because there's no organisation. And this isn't a Ruben Amorim thing. This is potentially an Erik ten Hag thing, but it's also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This just goes back so long, and this football club has not had the balls to do anything. I will praise them on removing Marcus Rashford from this situation. I was going to do a big old long video about Rashford, but to be honest, I don't want to waste my breath on it. It is sad that it's come to this point, but we as a football club need to move forward. He wasn't good enough. Then this is why I don't want to consume the stuff in the summer, because I don't think Villa will buy him. We'll see how he gets on. Hopefully he absolutely smashes it and goes to Villa, or goes off to Barcelona, his dream. But I can see this dragging out all summer because of his massive wages, which he's not worth. But the media are trying to turn a narrative on Amorim and his system and whether he's good enough. And they always do this easy, lazy media of going for the gaffer, when we as fans need to be patient, stick behind it. That's where it's been brilliant, hearing his name saying over and over again. I hate to use a Ten Hag phrase, but we've got to trust the process. And he said it last night. The process is not about winning these 2 trophies this season. It's about playing better football. And we are a long way off it. We're in for a long, bumpy ride, folks. Get in the comments below. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right. Listen, I took a load of troll abuse yesterday in one of my other content stuff, and I can take more. So bring it on. But let's just have a good debate about it. I mean, what is going on? Why can't we unite as a fan base? I know it's the world. We all have different opinions, and you're never going to change that. And that's what makes the world a good and a bad thing. Let's just get on with it, guys. Get behind the team and let's be united. Please. Spurs next, just over a week. Try and enjoy the rest of the FA Cup football this weekend. I promise you, it probably ain't going to be as bad as that. So, I love the FA Cup. I'm pleased we're in the 5th round. Just please, United. Let's get behind them. Let's do it. Thanks, guys. Like, share, subscribe to the content. Have a great weekend.